Hey everybody, it's Jake at P3. This is our beloved little Golf R project, and a while back we were building this up for Wookiees, and it was a little too quiet. So we called up our friends at ECS, and they hooked us up with their new Mk6 Golf R valved exhaust system. And we put that in about 4 months ago. It's been doing great, but we want to take you through that process, and then we'll check in with you at the end of the video, and enjoy. So these cars have the Golf Rs have a valve from the factory. This is just gonna use that same controller. They can ship it to you with a controller, so you can manually control it, or you can let the factory vacuum control operate this valve as well. And so if you look at the position of this, if this valve is closed, your exhaust is coming through from the engine, gets forced through both of these exhausts around the blockage and then out the tips. Or when it opens, exhaust can just flow straight through and be nice and loud. We opted to just use the factory control, and what we're gonna try to do is similar to like a GM NPP system. I'm assuming this vacuum port is controlled by a little electronic solenoid somewhere, and we should be able to take control of that solenoid and just wire up a simple 3-position switch to make this loud whenever we want, quiet whenever we want, or let the computer control it based on engine load and RPM and all that. So we will get this out and kind of positioned up, and hopefully we can get to that today, put it on the car and see what it sounds like. I've had a look under the car, doesn't look too bad. Come on down, I'll show you what we got going on. We've just got a couple 13mm bolts here, a couple 13mm bolts here. That's for your hangers. If you unbolt these two, it'll make it easier to transfer to the new exhaust. Up front, we've got a 15mm clamp for the factory exhaust clamp. We're gonna use a 13 because we have an adapter for our catback. And then don't forget your vacuum line for your factory valve. Once you have those down, this doesn't run through the suspension or anything. Real easy drop down, comes right out. Now that we've got the OEM exhaust out, we can get a good look of these two side by side. If you come over here and check this out, we've got basically the factory vacuum valve for your factory valve flap. We've got our hangers that we unbolted. Since we unbolted both of these hangers, we can very easily now transition them to the new ones outside of the car. This system looks great. Looks like it's going to be a direct bolt-in replacement. The weld quality is awesome. It's even, you can't see them on this side, but on the back side, it's got a nice ECS Tuning stamp on it. We come through here, it's got a 2-piece setup, so it's a little easier to install. We've got a clamp for that. And when you get up to the front, they even give you adapters. So if you've got aftermarket mid-pipe, or if you've got the smaller OEM pipe, you have the adapters you need and all the clamps you need to get this installed. So let's get this up in the car. Another part ECS sends you is a vacuum extension for your valve. This valve doesn't set in the exact same location as the factory one did, so this will give you an extension to get over to that vacuum line that controls the exhaust flap. I would recommend getting your 2 rear clamps hung up to hold the weight of the exhaust. Right now, it's not even connected to our mid-pipe, it slid off, but this will hold the weight of the exhaust, so now we can really fine-tune and slide everything into place and get all the clamps nice and tight while we're not having to hold the exhaust up. Don't forget to hook your vacuum line up. You'll be in loud mode all the time. Maybe that's a good thing. I think that's a mod. A note for when you're installing on this rear clamp, if you have the clamp this way, it's pretty close to the subframe, and if you just spin it around, now the nut is facing up, and that's super hard to tighten. So when you're installing this rear section, make sure you put the clamp with the bolt facing, or the nut facing down on the inside of the car, so that way you have plenty of clearance to your subframe. To finish this exhaust off, we saved this part to open for last because it's the pretty part you're going to see once it's installed. You have your choice of 3 different styles of exhaust tips. That's what's in this box, along with, I believe, a windshield banner. We went with the chrome black exhaust tips. Pretty excited what they're gonna look like. You can do stainless steel, black chrome, or maybe it's regular chrome, and then carbon fiber. Carbon fiber would probably be pretty cool, but I don't think this car deserves to have any carbon fiber on it. So then after you're done, you can just clamp these on, get them lined up. That is gonna look sweet. Got the ECS Tuning logo there. Thanks again to those guys for setting us up with this thing. This is gonna be a sweet exhaust. So after fitting these up, these nice little clamps that are there, and taking a look, you'll probably be best off running your clamp, the bolt, on the inside edge. So if you've got your 2 tips when they're installed, looking from the inside, you'll want them to be like that. There's just a little extra room on the inside of the car as opposed to running these on the outside. That way they won't rub your diffuser or anything like that. So let's get these clamped on. With this kit too, you've got extra room to play with your depth. So you can probably run them anywhere from about there to as far back as you want to go, even if you want to tuck them inside. We're going to go with a nice little middle of the road. Here she is, all buttoned up, ready to go. It's a little dirty, but let's go take it for a rip. So there you have it. That install took place about 4 months ago, and since then we've done just about everything you can do with a Golf R. We've taken it off-roading, taken it to the drag strip, taken it to Tail of the Dragon. We blast around town, it gets parts. All our friends drive it. I think probably 15 people have driven this since then. But it sounds great now with our exhaust from ECS Tuning. I do highly recommend putting the switch in because it's kind of cool to be able to switch between low and high volume with that valve. But we do love the exhaust. We want to thank ECS again for helping be a part of our build, and we have a couple other things coming down the pike with them. Be on the lookout for that. Be on the lookout for more videos from us and more content with this little Golf R, and we'll see you in the next one. Thanks, guys.